readers, I'm Amy and I'm your nonfiction feminist. Today I would like to talk about destroying books. More specifically, literally loving your books to pieces. I don't have a ton of books for this video, but I have enough to prompt a pretty good discussion. And this is actually a video that I haven't seen on Booktube before, and it just came to me the other day when I was looking at some of the destroyed books that I have. Especially, I went home recently and found an old book that is truly destroyed, and just it sounded like a really cool video idea. I think people should talk more about the books that they've loved to pieces, because those are the books where our love for that book originated from. So we will get this discussion started with Jurassic Park. I was with my grandparents at Salvation Army, going through the book stacks like I did, and I didn't realize that Jurassic Park was a book before it was a movie. At the time I was in high school, so forgive me for not knowing that. But I saw this and I'm like, oh, that was a really cool movie. I really love dinosaurs. They're awesome. I want to read this. This is one of my top 2 favorite books ever in the whole big wide world. I love this book so much. I love it. I love the dinosaurs. I love the science. I love the chase. The bad guys are awesome. And you can tell the evidence of my love. I mean, it was already kind of beat up when I initially got it, Salvation Army. But while I might not be responsible for all the corner and spine damage and all of the little cracks and love bumps on this book, I am the one who is responsible for the tape that now holds this copy together. And when Chris, my husband, and I initially moved in together, I had this copy. He had a nice mass paperback edition, and around that time my parents had also gotten me a new paperback edition, a new mass paperback. So between the two of us, there was already 3 copies of this book. We both loved dinosaurs. We both had a copy of it. I needed a new copy that wasn't completely falling apart. And also, Barnes & Noble was lowering their prices at the time. So I got the beautiful leather-bound edition of Jurassic Park and The Lost World. But we're not here to talk about The Lost World. The Lost World was bad. I will say that while this copy looks absolutely beautiful on my shelves, I do not recommend reading it. Leather-bound, white leather-bound, with some beautiful bright red ink. I don't think this is going to show super well on here. You can see it a little bit. It's turning pink. It's a lot more vibrant whenever I'm looking at it here in real life. The red is bleeding into it, and I tried to clean up the white a little bit, and then the red just started coming off. So I will not be reading this particular copy again, I don't think, because I don't want to smudge it any more than it's already been smudged. But yes, I owned 4 copies of Jurassic Park at one point. I tend to get multiple editions of books that I love. The other thing with having a book in this condition is that when you get a new one to replace it, this is the book borrowing copy. If I have a friend who is interested in reading Jurassic Park because they've heard about how much I love it, then I can have them borrow this book. I don't really care how much more damaged this gets. It's just going to get more love, you know? But in all of this, I will never get rid of this copy. Not only do I love this cover with the black dinosaur bones against the white background and everything, not only do I love this cover, but this is where my love originated from. This is where it all started, where the dinosaur chase began, and I will never give this up. Next up in my handy dandy little holder big book thing, I have Pride and Prejudice. This one, I want to say it was my grandmother's copy first, and then it ended up on my mom's shelf. and sometime in high school, maybe college, but I want to say high school, I found this on a shelf. I loved the Keira Knightley movie. It's like one of my all-time cat hair. One of my all-time favorite movies. So I wanted to read the book. This is even the complete and unabridged version. So it was a little hard for me because I was kind of new to classics at the time, but I loved it. And I loved it so much. Not only did I steal this off of Mom's shelf, but I don't read this copy anymore. It was like a little beat up on the corners because this is like a 1930s copy, I think. Oh, 1959. I was way off. Anyways, this is an older copy. It was already a little beaten up around the edges, but I believe I'm the one responsible for finalizing the cracks and having these edges tear off. And if you can't tell, I taped over the entire front and back cover. And look at this spine, guys. I can't read this anymore. I will lose pieces of the story if I attempt to read this. Book smell. It's still got that good book smell. It's practically a family heirloom at this point. And once again, same thing as with Jurassic Park. This is where the love really started for the book. Now, I've had multiple copies of this. I had found a matching edition of Persuasion and Lady Susan at the Friends of the Library. And then, later on, I also found a better condition copy of Pride and Prejudice. So, I guess I'm kind of collecting these editions of this now, since I have two of them. I actually really do love these covers. It's got the little kind of like floral details in the back there. And they're just really pretty. So I've got a couple versions of Pride and Prejudice as well. I'm a book collector. Sorry, not sorry. This needs to go back in its holder. That's where rude. It's where I keep this version to protect it. Yeah. Jurassic Park. The dinosaurs are gonna hang out with Stephen King. They're horrifying anyways, so. And my third book that I have, I actually had forgotten about this until I went to my parents' house and found it upstairs because my mom wanted me to go through some of my stuff that I still had there, and it was like odds and ends. And this is the Reader's Digest condensed books of Acts of Faith, Hardfall, Bygones, and the Stormy Petrel. Volume 3, 1992. I don't know what any of these books are. I've never read this book. It was purple. My parents weren't going to read it. I wasn't familiar with any of the titles. And I needed it for an art project. I don't remember what the project was. I don't remember if we were actually supposed to destroy a book or just take an object from home and work on it. But here you go. My completely destroyed book. It's got the little kind of Pegasus on the bottom there, and it had an engraving kind of one, an embossed one, whatever the word is there, on the bottom there, so I filled it in with glitter. I apparently took a knife to the back, so it's got all these scars. This, I believe my dad just took like a drill and drilled holes in it, so I had like a lock and key set. I got a lock on the back, I got the key on its little ring on the front. I don't even remember what else is in here, so this is going to be a journey for all of us. Random piece of gold fabric, which actually I think goes with the purple very, very well. I've got a rhinestone and some feathers. I also really like the marbled insides on this. More gold. I was also really into shiny things. I am still really into shiny things. That obsession will never end. I glued a bunch of pages together here and put on some little butterflies, punched holes in the ends. Something cool from a magazine that I thought was nice. Oh, I completely crumpled this page and put purple in there. This is crumpled and flattened back out again, and there's something pink on there. And what was this? Okay, this is like an interesting version of blackout poetry. So, I cut out the pages like every couple sentences or so. So see, they're split pages. And then I made it into blackout poetry. I was very creative in high school. I was in the senior yearbook for like best female artist or something. And of course, it was Halloween that day, so I was dressed up as Lucille Ball, because what other day of the year are they going to take pictures for yearbook? Snow. I'm from Montana. I love the snow. I had lots of snowy things. There's also another like white butterfly right there. Ooh, we got cutout pages with more rhinestones. I believe this was part of a keychain and more butterflies. I love butterflies. If you can't tell by my butterfly book right here, and this is the Guide to North American Butterfly. It's really hard to point whenever you're looking at the camera. My Guide to North American Butterflies that I've flipped through so much on camping trips and for art stuff. So high school is also the time that I discovered The Princess Bride. I made my own Princess Bride book cover with more shininess and rhinestones, because what is art without glitter and rhinestones? I'm asking the serious questions here. Ooh, speaking of glitter, I have a whole page of glitter with glitter in the corners there, and I just glitterified myself. This is the back of something. This looks like, oh, more blackout poetry. Or green out poetry, I suppose. I was going green, if you want a corny joke. And I wrote stars come out at night at the top, and I don't know why. But that's fine. Tore out a page here, which that might have already been torn out, because I don't see myself tearing out illustrations. I think this, I believe, is supposed to be a mix between a butterfly and a firefly. I had a real thing for combining other animals with butterflies, so that was like a preliminary sketch. I still do that. I still like drawing animals as butterfly mixes. Okay, so I tore out the pages to make paper cranes, and then I glued them on here so it looked like the paper was folded into paper cranes. And then this one, I cut out the numbers at the bottom and pasted them, and some words as well. Pasted them randomly over this. So that's kind of trippy to look at. Redid the name of the story in the corner. My camera is not focusing. So you can see like all the pages without numbers. This is the back of some purple out poetry. I don't even know if it's any good. Okay, that looks like it's kind of it for this destroyed book. I will always hold on to this as a piece of my young adulthood and a sign of my creativity. And I kind of want to work on this some more, because I think destroying an old book like this, I know I had fun with this, and I think I would have fun doing it again. So that is it for my conversation on, that's not going to work, my conversation on destroyed books. So yeah, I find value in my old copies of books. That is where my love started. They're also great for people borrowing them. So yeah, please make a video out of your destroyed books, because I think we need to talk about them more. Like, subscribe, be my friend on social media, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye.